Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for episode 6 of Star Trek Picard, and this episode is titled The Impossible Box. Now, if you've been following my reviews for these episodes for this show, Star Trek Picard, you will know that I've not been overly impressed with the quality of this show. I think it had a strong start and then it's been on a slow decline since that strong start, but I'm happy to report that I do think there has been an increase in quality in this episode. And this episode focuses on Picard and his ragtag crew finally getting to the Borg cube. How long has it taken them to get here? They could have easily got to this point, I think, a couple of episodes ago. It's taken far too long to get to this point in this show. However, they're here now, and he's managed to get hold of some diplomatic credentials from Starfleet Picard that allows him to get on this Borg cube, and he's looking for Soji. Now, Soji at this point is starting to suspect something is seriously wrong. She's having this dream over and over again about her and her father, and she's helped confront this dream, and then essentially by the end this dream activates her, and by the end of this episode she's fully activated, she's fully aware of who she is pretty much, and then they have to try and get off this Borg cube. Pretty sharpish. So my overall thoughts for this episode is, like I said, I think has been definitely an improvement in quality here. Don't get me wrong, I do think there were parts of this episode that were painfully slow, especially the part where they were exploring Soji's dream. It was a bit dull, and most of the stuff involving Soji on the Borg cube previous to this, in previous episodes, has been dull as dishwater, I think. Terribly slow stuff and uninterestingly done. But finally, thankfully, that is over now. The Borg cube stuff is done. Although I do think the way they addressed Jean-Luc Picard's past here was done really, really well in regards to his connection to the Borg and him being previously Locutus of Borg in Star Trek: The Next Generation. This felt a little bit more like Star Trek because it felt connected to what had come previously in Next Generation show and Star Trek First Contact. You felt the impact of Jean-Luc Picard and his history with the Borg, and they handled that really, really well. And I really liked the part in this episode where Picard saw what they were doing on this Borg cube and trying to all those that have been assimilated by the Borg previously on this cube being turned back to who they are, and he finally saw them for what they were, victims not monsters, as he described it. And I thought that was the most poignant moment in this show, when he had this realization that they weren't monsters, they were just victims. And I really, really liked that, and I thought they handled that really, really well, so I do applaud them for that. There are other aspects of the show that I just thought was unbelievable. I mean, when she's trying to figure out who she is, she's trying to find out how old she might be by scanning all these old photographs of her, and it just didn't feel believable to me. I mean, we barely these days use photographs. Most people take pictures on their phones, and they're all kept digitally for the most part, and you might print some off occasionally, put it on a cup or something like that. Are we expected to believe that photographs will be used so extensively as it pretends to show in this episode in this future? I'm sure you would still have maybe one or two, but they would be considered, I don't know, but it just didn't feel believable. There were these photographs scattered everywhere that she was scanning, and it just wouldn't be reality. You wouldn't use them to that extent in those days. So yeah, I enjoyed aspects of this episode. I thought they really, really hit the nail on the head in regards to Picard and him confronting his past in regards to the Borg stuff. It's just where we should have been 2 episodes ago, and it really does feel now that the pace of the show hopefully is going to pick up a little bit. She's been activated. Picard's, by the end of this episode, is hopefully got her under his wing to help her. And I thought this episode was going to be the one with Riker, but it's not. It's going to be next week's episode. So hopefully this is all going to pick up now, and we're going to get, hopefully, because I think there's 10 episodes, I'm hoping that the last 4 episodes are going to be Barnstormers. I've got my doubts, but if they're at this quality and slightly better, I think the show could finish on a bit of a high, which is what I'm hoping for. So I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. Definitely an improvement on the last few episodes. I do think they got a lot right in this episode, but there were certain aspects of it that I think were unbelievable and a little bit dull. So let's hope this increase in quality can continue. So that's my review for episode 6. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. I'll see you back on this channel for more reviews of Picard next week. Thanks for watching, everybody.